Brother D. Roy Cruz here. Your life applications officer. Um, I gotta talk about this. Um, I gotta talk about this. I've been watching this film called The 100. On Netflix. 7 seasons. I covered 7 seasons with like 16 videos. Well, 16 episodes, I should say, a piece. My God. Wow. And the movie is boring. But it's one of them kind of movies that even though you're like knocking on your head, like, what is going on here? What's wrong with this picture? Okay? They just making up excuses for people to die, making up excuses for people to be trapped, get killed, get captured, just constantly, violence and death all through. But I'm sure this movie is rated PG. A lot of gay lesbian innuendo in this movie series, and a lot of blood and violence. A lot of blood and violence. Woo, boy. I appreciate, though, that they winged out, because they trying to be like Game of Thrones or some junk. I'm glad they weaned out the graphics of their fornications. The graphics of their gay and lesbian, sexual moments, okay? I'm glad they weaned out the graphics, okay? But I can understand where they're trying to groom us. And that's what they do in movies. Like, when you see stuff in there like, oh, that's interesting. Hey, a gay couple in there. 2 gay couples. 3 gay couples. 4 gay couples. Wow, that's interesting. Ain't that interesting? Wow. I'm learning something, right? Of course. Because they can't do it in real time. So they try to do it through the movies. Everything from democratic liberal hate and their lies that they use to push out that hate, to push forward that hate, all the way to full outscale war between different lifestyles and races and you name it. Y'all ain't fooling me. I know what you're trying to do. Okay? But God is still the best. Jesus is still the best. I wish that people would tell the truth about how some of these relationships come about. They didn't come about like they were on, like 2 guys that ain't even gay get together in a gay relationship because they feel some kind of way about one another. That's not how it happens in real life, sweetheart. That's not how it happens. Same thing with the lesbos. Okay? Oh, well, then again, I do think that's that there's a little bit of truth in there when it comes to women. Like, and I can understand. Like, and I'm just covering all this right now so I don't forget, but because I want to cover it and I don't want to forget about it. I don't want to forget about this part. Because I'm on this. I'm on this, and until people get it in their thick skull, I'm gonna be on it. But I can understand a little bit how women. Then again, there's always a host in any homosexual activity. One of y'all was gay or trying to experiment with gayism, and the other person, you were able to get to fall into that pickle, not just because, and it ain't. It's usually not because they were gay in the first place, or they wanted to be gay, or they were, drowning in gay or whatever. No, usually what it is they were in a situation, especially when it comes to another woman approaching another woman. They were in a situation to where they were pushed aside. They were unhappy in many ways, and the gay thing kind of happened to fit the bill with that moment, okay? And because it worked as a good substitute at that moment, here we go. Here we are, okay? Enough of that. But it's still grooming people. It's still indoctrinating us, the people that you want to give a thumbs up to your show. There are some good points about this show, and the one good point, there's not that many of them at all, but there's one good point I will address. That is that war, I got it written down here, Zimmer. War, dictation, and partiality is a matter of survival. And let's say a civil war happened right now here in Pittsburgh. Okay? I know who I'm going to be hanging out with. I know who I'm going to stick up for. Okay? I'm not sticking up for anybody just because they black. Just because they look like me. I'm not sticking up for anybody just because they're Republican. And I'm a Republican. Okay? And yes, Christians come first. Those are the first people I'm going to be looking out for. First Christians, and then you so-called good people. People think they're good. There ain't nobody good. But you people out there think you good. Ain't none of us good. Okay? And I agree with the movie about that. That's a good point that they put in the movie. Ain't nobody good. We all got sins. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was very good. And at the end, it almost seems like they trying to put a little biblical twist in there. But before that, though, they kept taking us through all this false religion. Like, there ain't no religions out there that's stupid. Okay? And the blasphemy of hallowed be thy name. That's not what hallowed be thy name means. Hallowed be thy name means the ground I'm standing on is holy. Because God's presence is here. That ain't got nothing to do with, you don't hallow another person's name. When we say hallowed be thy name, there's only one person that gets hallowed. And that's God. Hallowed be thy name. Because every time this false priest raises his hands, hallowed be thy name. There must have been 3 or 4 different religions in this film that these poor kids had to go through. And they always end. It's funny how they all ended up being manipulative and liars, okay? But the one religion at the end was almost true. Because people were like, oh, we get to transcend. We get to transcend into a computer life, or we're now a computer chip that's living inside of a computer, and we're living happily ever after like this because we can feel each other, we can make love, we can do all these things as long as this chip is in the back of our head, as long as we can transcend and disappear from this life, this body, and transcend to something else where we don't feel any pain. Almost correct, but still blasphemy. Really is. Almost correct, but you are incorrect enough to be blasphemous. Okay, because that has nothing to do with the resurrection, is what you meant to say. That is not the resurrection. Okay. Um, there's a lot of reasons why this movie can go wrong, but there's a couple good points in there. And I'm using this movie to point out some facts about life and how the elite, you know, try to indoctrinate us into a lifestyle of sin and shame while we don't realize it's sin and shame. Okay? But war, all you little punks and chickens out there, war is necessary when you find yourself stranded and people don't want to share and people don't want to help you and people, you know what I'm saying? People want to be rude to you and treat you like you're an animal instead of a human. I mean, people that are totally afraid of dogs and hate dogs will give dogs something to eat. But oh, wait till the so-called apocalypse, if there's one coming. Wait till it comes. See how many people start feeding you. We got enough problems with enough food being out there for the homeless people. They definitely ain't gonna feed your supposed to be working. You got a car that's still running behind. You know, ain't nobody. You know what I'm saying. It's like war is important because, and God showed us this all through the scriptures. War is important, and God is a God of war. Why? Because His people don't listen, and when His people do listen, the people that they're trying to help or the people that they're trying to receive help from don't listen. They're just selfish and barbaric about it. Just selfish and ignorant and uncaring. Okay? Yes, let's go to war. If you can find a sword, I'm going to take your whole house. Find me like what's her name? Octavia in this film. Find me a nice long blade. I'm going to come in here and take over your whole family. I'm going to take over your house. I'm going to kick you out of your house. I got your food. Okay? You know, I got everything. Hopefully I won't have to kill nobody because won't nobody try to retaliate. But you was being ignorant, so I took over. Okay? You know? Anyone that ain't with one crew is the enemy of one crew. Okay? But, you know, if we went to war, you know that you would show partiality. You know that you would pick races. You know that you would pick people. You would pick, you know who your friends are. You wouldn't just pick anybody because they need help. You'd help them as long as your friends agreed with it, or you'd help them as long as you had backup, or as long as they made some kind of negotiation with you, because you need help too. Okay? So the first thing that you'll notice about this film is feminism. Lots of it. God almighty. Lots and lots. Every leader, every warrior, there's only one part in there, and of course he turned out to be a scam, but there's only one male leader in there, and that's when they went down to Earth in like the 6th season or whatever. No, the 5th season. They came back. They left Earth and went to this planet. And there was this manipulating, lying, religious male leader. His wife was more a leader, and they show you that too, where his wife had all the brains. He was just following her. They wanted to make sure you understood that. So there's a lot of feminism in this film, all the way from you know, what's the lead actor's name? Clark. All the way to Clark, all the way from Clark to her own child. Too much feminism. Okay? Too much feminism. And they want to act like these women are so strong and they're so lacking a need for men. They only need men for one thing, and that's to help them lift something and for sex. They don't really need them for nothing else. You know, there's just every leader in here is a woman. You know, Clark is a woman. I mean, Clark is a leader. Um, Raven is a leader. Okay. Ingra. What's the stars? Becca. I forget the girl's name that was in love with Bellamy. Bellamy should have been a leader. He was never a leader. He was always what's her name? Clark's partner. Okay? If you've seen the film. I'm talking to those that have seen the film. Some of y'all in love with this film. Y'all watch it over and over again. But feminism is the first thing we see. The men are not really leaders in this film at all. Everybody from the woman in the kitchen all the way to the president, all the way to the general, you know, all the warriors, they're all women. A lot of women. Hot women. But still women. Okay? Hot young women. I'll show you some slides here. Hot young women. How to get here? Oh, I know how. Here we go. Now, the young hot women in here, here's the lead actor. Take it off my charger. What have I done? Oh, come on. What you doing? Alright. That's Clark. Very beautiful lady. She's not as pretty as her. Well, she's very pretty there. But she's not as pretty as some of the lovely, lovely ladies in her crew. I'll show you my two favorites. She's hot. Her mama's hot. Amori. Here, let me take you. Let me take you. Let me take you to Amori. Let me take you. Well, here's her mom. Now, this woman been in all kinds of movies. I remember she was in some Italian mob movies back in the day. This woman's up in age. She ain't no teenager. She ain't no 20-some-year-old actor. This woman been around. This her mama in the movie. That's her mama. She fine. Okay? I'm going to show you my favorites. There's two women in here that... Forgive me, Lord. Let me go back. Octavia, the number one. She's the best fighter in this movie. Wow, that's like a college age. That's a college picture over there. Octavia's fine. Octavia, fine as heck. What you doing? Don't play with me. Hold on. They want to play. Okay. Hit on it. Okay. That's good enough. Right there. Octavia. Very gorgeous. Very, 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 very beautiful lady. And I just noticed something. Hold up. I just noticed something. Well, no, no, I'm using. Okay. It's there. It's on. Okay. Octavia. She was the number one and tiniest girl in the tiniest grown woman anyway in the film, and she was the number one warrior after Ingra. I'm gonna show you my two favorites now. Man, I gotta show you this one here. She was another leader in the film. Man, I like her in person though. I like the way she looks in person. Then again, no, that's too exotic right there. Like, what was she thinking with that? Well, this is lovely. The you know, they got these college. Now that is a beauty right there. She looks better there than she does in the film. That is beautiful. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Okay, enough of that. That is Raven. She's a doll too. I like her better in the first two seasons, but when she got to like the fourth season, they did something with the makeup that was just, I don't know, man. All right, I'm gonna get to my favorites now. Um, here, okay, here's Echo. Yeah, her name was Echo. This was the one that was in love with. Ooh. I gotta look at some of these videos. These people speaking out. I want to hear them. I gotta come back and look at these videos. All these ladies got like a. Okay. That's a nice picture. That is Echo. I was wondering what her name was. It's Echo. She was in love with Bellamy. Now this picture here of her reminds me of my old camp days. All right. Those are the head runners. I'm gonna take you to my most favorite sweethearts. Okay. I gotta show you this one though. Allie. The one that yeah, she's a doll. This is a bad girl though. She's the one that well, there's two versions of her in the film. There's like the computer version and there's the real her. And that's an exotic photo there. She's got some more humble ones. Wow, man, these girls must have been in some movies, like, or either got modeling careers or what. Because some of these pictures are like, okay, what movie is this? Where was I at when you was taking these fine photos? And I'm not talking about photos with the clothes off. I'm talking about, you know, these photos. If you can see, these photos are just them posing in different positions in different places. And some they look kind of up in age, and others they look really young, and some they look really exotic. And it's like, were all these women models before they became movie stars? You know, because, you know, not all movie stars have to be models, right? I want to show you here she is. Now this is my number one girl right here, Amori. This is my sweetheart. This is. Oh, there's a scene in there's an episode where she gets that chip put in her head, and her and Murphy, they become like this, you know, they become like this king and queen type of thing going on, and you know, well, they actually work for the king, but they're like kind of like on a level of prince and princesses, you know. And oh my goodness. But this girl was beautiful, um, even when she oh, that's my favorite right there. Now that is a beautiful, gorgeous picture right there. I'll let you see that one. Wow, look at that. That is my number one character. Not only because of the way she looks, but she was one of the most humblest girls in the film. And you know how I feel about Asian women. And like wow, you know what I mean? That is a beauty. Woo! And there's one more. Some people think this is a black woman. I don't think she is. Okay? I think she's Indian. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think she's Indian. She's from the Middle East. I show you. But she's a doll baby. Oh. She's played on a number of things. She's played on NCIS. I think she's played on a Y50. She's oh. Here's Ingra. Now, Ingra in the film they got Ingra. Man, Ingra should have had her own black army. Ingra, this is where I look up to Ingra as a black performer in a predominantly white movie. Okay? I mean, her part, she played, if somebody were to ask me who you think played their part the best, I would say Ingra. She, oh my goodness. Okay, here's Ingra. That's Ingra. Okay? That's Ingra. Alright? Now, in the film, you know, they cut her hair real short and they put scars all over her face to show that she's been in war all her life. And I mean, she plays her part good. And her being like, you know, looking like an African barbarian type, like the old African days or whatever. I mean, out of all the women that were wearing armor in this film, wearing like, you know, the war armor, she looked best in hers. And you know, her being older than the other girls too, okay, and representing a veteran leader, you know what I mean, she played her part good. I mean, I think out of everybody in this movie, I think Ingra played her part really good. You can tell the difference between some of these older artists or older actors and these younger ones. Like, I mean, whoo. I mean, she played her part very well. Um, that's Ingra. Um, and there's one more. One more I got to do in here. This mama. Whew. Lord mercy. What is her name? Now, I mean, all the women in here, it just... Here she is. Woo. Rekka. Yeah. Dr. Loyree Tyson or whatever. Oh, my goodness. I'm not going to show that one because, whoa, man, okay. Woo! Now that is a fine. In the movie, she looked like a black woman, but you still can see her Indian, the Indian in her there. That ain't no black woman. Could be, but I don't think it is. They make her. She looks black in the film, but as you can see, that's more of a uh, better picture of her. There ain't nothing wrong with her being black. See, depending on what you put her in. Now, here's one where she looks really black. She looks black with short hair. Okay. See there? She is fine. Hmm. Here's one. Look at this one. Look at that. Oh my eyes. Mm. Mercy. Whew. I don't understand. When I look at women, I really believe in God. Okay, I really do. Like, good Lord. Mm. When I look at women, I really believe in God. I really, really do. I really believe in God. Because I know that ain't no evolution made women. Okay? I mean, I go to work every day and I work in a place where we see these new hotties every single day. And there's enough to go around. I'm telling you, uh-uh. This ain't no evolution. Evolution did not create women. Women did not come from apes. Okay? They didn't. Women did not come from apes. They did not. They did not. Another thing in the film that I felt um, was grooming us. And it is children being disrespectful to their parents. And not only in this film, but a lot of modern day films, children are allowed to flip out and snap out at their parents. And their parents go, "Oh, I'm sorry, don't leave, don't leave, don't leave, come back, please don't leave." And then, after she done slammed stuff around or he done slammed stuff around and threw things around the house and called you a B and called daddy a no good, whatever, whatever. They go outside and they run the streets. They've been going all day and you come back and apologize for whatever it was that you did. You go to apologize to that child. And in real life, that's not really the case. You get in an argument with your daughter, especially if she's young, like, high school, middle school, and she go to run in the street, you're going to call cops. And you're going to tell her she owes you an apology. You ain't going to be, most of us would say, "Hey, you owe me an apology. You walking in my house, don't waltz up in here thinking you gonna eat my bread and eat my soup and drink my milk and my Kool-Aid and all this and talk to me like that." That was totally uncalled for. Okay? But they want us to feel that when children become teenagers, they're in charge. And the best way to help a teenager grow up with a good self-confidence and so on is you have to let them be loud and crazy and disrespectful and arrogant and sassy, potty mouth. You gotta let them do all that because it's part of their adolescence, it's part of their upbringing. Now, I made this mistake with my daughters when they were young because I made the mistake of acting like, my daughter was the only one doing this. No, this is when a child turns, 13, between the ages of 13 and 16. Those are some strong ages there, between 13 and 16. Like, good Lord, okay? Kids, kids, kids have to be taught to respect their parents. And, above all else, everything else, respect your parents. That's how you learn. That's how you grow up. Respect your parents. And then if your parents, you know, have something, you know, to offer their kids, like, you know, their business, or, you know, I used to take my kids to work with me, and, you know, different jobs I had when I had custody of them. I'd take them to work with me, and they would work with me and help me get things done quicker. And I gave them an allowance, and they learned, you know, they learned some things. Okay. And I sat my kids down. I taught them a lot of things at home. Everything from, you know, keeping their virginity, which I knew that wasn't going to happen, but I had to teach it to them anyway. Keeping their virginity, all the way to how to defend themselves. You know, you know, how to shoot, how to, you know, I had to teach them all that. Okay? But it's my job to teach and for them to listen. And when I have them do things like chores, that's me teaching and them listening. If I say no, that's me teaching and them listening. If I say yes, that's me teaching and them listening. Now, if you think I'm wrong, you tell me what a child is supposed to do. What is a child supposed to be when a child is in middle school and high school and bringing homework from school every day? What am I supposed to be do? What am I supposed to do with my child? Apart from going to school and her being at home having a relationship with her parents, what else is she supposed to do as a child? Unless she's getting into sports, or like I said, unless her dad, mom got something going on. What? What's she supposed to do other than listen to her parents? What? Let me in on a secret. What? She ain't got to do nothing but listen to her parents. Except for the things that she wants to do to educate herself in things that might be opposite her parents. And that's fine. That's fine. But her biggest moral attitude and obligation when she's a child is to respect her parents, listen to her parents, follow her parents. When she gets a certain age, she can do whatever she wants to do. Okay? She can do whatever she want to do. I gotta go get these clothes washed. So children just being disrespectful to parents and lording over their parents. You'll see that a lot in this film too, where, you know, Ingra's daughter tells her, you know, educates. Well, hold up. How long you been on the planet that you know? Well, don't get me wrong. Okay, these kids are young, but they've lived for like 100 and some years, I guess. Later on in the film, we find out they lived 100 and some years. But like I said, it don't just stop with this film. Okay, any film today you watch, they love to get the kids to show off, or whoever's playing the kids, get them to show off and act really, really, really aggressive towards their parents. And then when their parents find them and they have to sit down and talk about it, the parent apologizes to the child. And the child demands an apology, and the child demands you to respect her honor and her arrogance. You know. Vice versa, the boys, okay? And I know some boys. Boys are just as bad, they're only more violent, okay? I know a boy, this is one of the reasons why I'm still single, because, you know, other than I really don't need to be with anyone, but I've had too many female friends who got problems with their boys and their girls. And when you got a child that puts his or her hand on you, I cannot be with you, because I'm going to hurt somebody. Because now If me and you hook up, now you putting your hands on my woman. I won't date a woman like that. I won't date a woman where her son disrespects her all day long and she can't do nothing about it. Okay? Because I'll end up coming in there and going off on that boy, losing myself on that boy, and then I'll kick him out of your house. Our house now. Or if you moving in with me, my house. Our house, I'm sorry. Okay, our house. He ain't staying. He gonna come in here and I gotta worry about him putting his hands on my wife while I'm at work because she told him to clean his room or because she told him he couldn't bring his boys over to smoke weed or whatever. You remember that scene in with Wesley Snipes? Was it Wesley Snipes? What's the name of that film? Yeah, it was Wesley Snipes. Yeah, it was the one where he was with the Italian girl. He slept with the Italian girl and oh yeah, Jungle Fever. I think it was Jungle Fever. Jungle Fever, I'm pretty sure. Remember that scene? Samuel L. Jackson, where his dad shot him? He come in there trying to bum mama for some money, and when mama said she ain't got no more money to give him, he started stomping his feet and getting all up in mama's face. Dad came in there and shot him and said, hey, I'm shooting the demons out of my house. Remember that? You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody got time for that foolishness, man. In real life, ain't nobody got no time for that foolishness, okay? But children do not lord themselves over their parents. I don't care what the case is. I don't care how much money their parents don't make. I don't care how many things that their kids that they can't afford for their kids to do. Okay? You don't disrespect your parents. You don't become lord over your parents. Okay? It doesn't happen. If it does happen, we're all in trouble. And we are. Okay? My favorite was these religious deceptions and religious violence. Okay? They must have went through about 3 or 4 religions. And all these religions were about some religious fanatic guy or making a religion, starting a religion or whatever, and making people bow and making people say certain things and believe in certain things that don't make sense. Okay? And I don't know. I feel like in some of the stuff they're mocking Christianity. Okay? I already mentioned gays and lesbians. And I want to say this about religion too. I don't know where atheists got it from that Christians get passes when they do wrong. That's bull dookie. Not in the real world they don't. Maybe you talking online they do, but in the real world Christians go to jail just like anybody else go to jail. Okay? And Christians get kicked out of churches every day. Pastors get asked to step down, get arrested, get kicked out of the church. Don't bring your butt back here. Okay? They bounce pastors out of their own churches every day. What you talking about? We do not support, pastors and leaders in the church getting away with stuff just so we can be religious and enjoy our religion. You're retarded. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. A friend of mine at work just told me about the story of a minister. He's dead and gone, but I didn't know he went to prison. No one told me that. I didn't know the guy went to prison. I didn't know that he did, I didn't know that another one he mentioned to me did sexual stuff. That he cheated on his wife. I didn't know that. You think if I knew that, I'd have still been listening to him on the radio? I used to listen to this guy on the radio all the time. And now this brother going to tell me, yo, you know what happened to him, right? And you know he cheated on his wife big time, and she finally caught up with him. I'm like, wow. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Most of us Christians don't. Okay. But Christians don't. If you come to my church and you don't want to put money in the offering plate or believe in what I believe in, okay, I'm not going to fight with you, okay, or jail you or lock you up or do any harm to you because you don't want to do it. That's a lie. That's not true. Okay. Yeah, Christians don't commit violence except in self-defense, but we don't. Forget what you see on NCIS. Forget what you see on Law and Order Special Victims Unit. Forget what you see in this movie right here, The 100. Christians don't practice violence to keep their people in line. That's bullcrap. It don't happen. And if it does happen, it happened one day and they was out the door, okay? Because we're different than you. We pay attention to what's going on around us. We pay attention. When somebody tells me he's a Christian, I pay attention. Now you got me watching you like a hawk because you said you was a Christian. I'm watching you like a hawk now, okay? You ain't getting away with squat, okay? Now, and lastly, transcendence. The transcendence part was really good at the end, but when it first started, it was kind of retarded because everybody that was transcending was doing it for some evil reason. Then at the end, Clark finally lost her cool and shot somebody. It had to be the religious dude. She shot him up. I mean, she shot him right in front of his daughter. She shot him like 6 times. She made sure that he was down, okay? But all through the movie, she says, don't make me shoot this. And then they had a war, and she didn't even pull the trigger. She just kept letting people live. Finally, at the end, she finally shot this guy. And, you know how it is. It didn't do much. Didn't do much. But in real life, if somebody has spiritual power or superhuman power, the first thing you want to do is try to find a way away from that person, not find a reason to bow down to them, okay? But in the Bible, it talks about the resurrection. In order to be in the resurrection, well, there's there's a resurrection in the hell too, but in order to be resurrected into God's family, when you get resurrected, you're getting resurrected into God's family because you were already in the book. You don't get to do like this movie, go to the transcendence first and then become a member. No. You got to be right with God before you leave this planet. Okay? Got to be right with God. Okay? Before you leave this planet. Or you don't get to leave the planet. Okay? Or you just go to hell. Okay? That's called resurrection. And the people of God are not, what they was trying to do. Well, at the end they cleaned it up. All the bad people finally were going and they let the righteous people. But see, God's not looking for good people. He's looking for holy people. He's not looking for good people. He's looking for obedient people. Okay? Ain't nobody holy. But he's looking for people who try to be holy. Okay? And God lost my train of thought. God is not taking in everybody. He's not taking in murderers and rapists and atheists and homosexuality, abortion. He's not taking in people who do wrong things. He's not taking them in. Okay? On this side of eternity, we might be able to treat your wounds and give you another chance at life. But once you die, once that spirit leaves your body, you're done. You're either go into the damnation of hell or you go into the blessing of the spirit. Okay? There ain't no transcendent crap my butt. Okay? Resurrection is what it's all about. Because you transcend it, and you why? You transcend it while you was committing fornication. You transcend it while you letting your daughter tell you how to run your life, and she's always wrong. If you pay attention, okay? You're transcending while you smoking and drinking and practicing all kinds of illicit sex and all like that. That's not how it's done, baby. You got to be born again, first saved, okay? And then God puts a spirit in you, and then you can be ready to blast off. But everybody don't go to heaven just because they say, oh, you know what, I'm sorry. No, you need to repent, is what the point of that scripture in that book is, okay, in that Bible is, okay? You need to repent. And lastly but not least, the blasphemy in the Bible. Hallowed be thy name is not just a way of giving salute to a king or salute to a leader, a president, or a religious person, whatever. Hallowed be thy names means that the ground that we're standing on is holy because God's presence is here, and we are, whose name is getting hallowed? God's name is getting hallowed. Christ's name is getting hallowed after he ascended to the right hand of the Father. Okay? So, that's the 100 for you. Thanks for watching. A lot of crap in there. But it's one of them movies that you watch, and even though it gets boring a lot, and even though, you get sick and tired of all the twists in between episodes, it's a movie that you keep on watching because you want to see how it would end. Okay? So God bless you. I am DeRoy Cruz. I am your Life Applications Officer. Thank you for watching. And again, remember, I'm not opening up the comments section on this video until maybe about 5 days. Then I might open it up. But I'm tired of the haters coming to my channel and talking trash before they even look at the video. Okay? I'm tired of it. Sick of it. Okay? It's gonna stop. If I have to stop doing videos and make it stop, I will. It's gonna stop. Okay? Or if I have to just never use my comment section, it will stop. It will stop. God bless you. Thank you for watching.